Thanks, guys. OKC's at Washington, 7 o'clock East at the Capital One Arena. The Thunder opened up the betting as the 3.5-point favorites and the total at 219.5. Since the markets opened this one up, though, we've seen a lot of that early betting action favored the Wizards and the under. Right now, OKC's laying just 2.5 against the spread with the total moving downward to 218.5. And at the moment, OKC's the $1.40 favorites on the money line. And rightfully so. This Thunder team's heating up, 8-game winning streak at the moment, 6-2 against the number in those 8 outright victories. They're also 1-0 against the spread in their lone head-to-head matchup with the Wizards. And speaking of the Wizards, man oh man, have they been good against the number in a few categories as well, especially in games as the underdog. This Washington squad's covering an impressive 71% of their games. When catching points, they're also covering 63% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Washington's also fared very well against winning ball clubs. They're covering nearly 70% of their games versus teams over 500. Needless to say, both teams had been covering machines in their own respect despite their overall record against the spread. Now, scoring-wise, 4-1 to the over in Washington's last 5, 5-0 to the over in OKC's last 5 themselves. That trend's certainly not lining up with the current betting trends on this handle. If I had to lean toward a side on the total in this one, I tend to think we'd see a good amount of offense in this game, but all told, the numbers are just a little too close for me, so I'm going to go ahead and take a free pass on this one. But what I will do is slide into my next game, and I'm talking about Cleveland at Detroit. Lots of movement on the number in this one. Cleveland opened 2. Now 6.5, total open 218.5, now down to 217 flat. Currently, the Cavs are the $2.50 favorites on the money line. And at the moment, just 24% of the handle is shaded toward Detroit, so look for them to catch at least 7 by the closing number. The Pistons are going up against a Cleveland squad who, despite winning their last 2, have been amongst the worst covering teams in the association. Cleveland's gone just 2-8 against the spread in their last 10, 3-12 ATS in their last 15, and they're covering a measly 20% of their games as the official road favorite. They're also going up against a Pistons squad who's covering nearly 80% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. 2-0 to the over in Detroit's last 2, 4-0 to the over in Cleveland's last 4 themselves. Not sure why we're seeing the public bet this one downward, but what I do know, I want no parts of it. But what I do like on this game is the number. I also like the ability to buy it up. I also want to expose Cleveland's 8-30 record against the spread when they're laying the points. So all told, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the Detroit Pistons plus 7, getting the job done at home. Next and final game for me. Golden State at the Utah Jazz, 9 o'clock East at the Smart Home. Warriors open 7, now 8.5. Total open 217.5. Bet down to 217 flat. Currently, Golden State's the 4-1 favorites to win this one outright. And at the moment, just 24% of the handle is shaded toward Utah. Look for them to catch another half a point or so real soon. And if you're amongst the unpopular betting public in this one, you might not be in too bad of a spot here. The Jazz are 3-1 ATS in their last 4, 75% covering as the home underdog, and 80% covering in games that tipped off at the current point spread. But if you're a Golden State backer on the other side, can't really fault you there either. Golden State's won 4 of their last 5, 8 of their last 10, 12 of their last 15. And here's where it gets really tricky. Golden State's margin of victory in their last 5 wins is exactly 9 points per win. Now, scoring-wise, 2-1 to the over in Golden State's last 3, 3-0 to the under in Utah's last 3 themselves. No play on a total here for me. And when it comes to that margin of victory for Golden State, it's just a little bit too close to the current number. So all told, I'm going to sit back, relax, and enjoy this one, but I will be taking no action on the late games. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.